We are Chuck and Sharee Burbank, and this is our story of how unconditional love restored us to God and brought us back to the church. We've been hurt by the church deeply, and for years we've been very bitter about the organized religion and wanted to have nothing to do with it. I had reached a point where I realized I had a hole in my life, but I wasn't sure why.
Not only was I bitter toward organized religion, but I was also bitter with hypocritical Christians who stab each other in the back and shoot their own wounded. I was bitter with a supposedly good and loving God who would allow all the horrors in the world, all the wars of men, to the horrors that people can inflict on each other, be it large scale or small, all the diseases and catastrophes of nature, and especially hypocritical Christians. But then we met Louis and Diana.
And they began to invite us over to play games and to have dinner and just to visit from time to time, always loving us and never pressuring us.
As we got to know them, we discovered that they were Christians, but I liked them anyway. And eventually I poured out my tale of woe about how our church had betrayed and abandoned us, and how I didn't want to have anything to do with God. But instead of beating me over the head with their Bibles, or withdrawing from us, which would have been the easiest thing for them to do, they just continued to love on us. But they didn't hide the fact that they were committed Jesus followers.
Through the time that we spent with Louis and Diana, they loved on us, and they just ministered to us. But they would share, knowing our past, they would share about their church and what a loving place it was from time to time. And I realized that the hole in my heart was a spiritual hole. I needed to be back in the church. I needed to be with God's people. And so I finally decided it was time to visit their church, and that we went.
Ever so slowly, as we started going back to church, found myself wanting to have the kind of peace and joy that the Post Towers had. And eventually Jesus did bring us back to himself and healed our spiritual wounds. And today I'm happy to say that we have that same peace and joy in our lives.
I thank God for bringing Louis and Diana into our lives, and for their love, and for the sacrifices they made to get to know us and spend time with us and bring us back to the church.